And Tom really set an exceptional culture. And I think we're all so tight friends still, because I think the way that experience happened was organic, but also set in such a positive growth mindset.
Tarzan, Danny, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great,
doing
man.
good. And I love your shirt, man.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah, Top Gun. Yo, look,
I love that limited edition poster.
I got the Maverick poster up there.
Yeah.
I went to the theater and got
also
that.
you have a lot of the work of one of the biggest fans of Top Gun up there.
Isn't
a lot of Tarantino stuff,
dude, man. These posters were a gift from my wife. I got to shout out, she got these for me as a gift. And what's funny is the Maverick one is actually replacing Pulp Fiction. There's a Pulp Fiction one that normally goes there. And I'll move the Maverick.
And then you know what you're gonna add in that bottom shelf of all the collection of DVD and Blu-ray is November 1st, the Top Gun Maverick comes out in physical copy.
What?
Yeah, dude.
I love that.
Yeah.
What?
110 minutes. 110 minutes of BTS footage.
That's great. I'm learning this for the first time right now.
Well, hell yeah.
Danny, you're full of great information, buddy. And if I remember correctly, digital release Top Gun Maverick August 23rd. Is that right?
Yes,
right?
sir.
That's in
that's
in a week.
That's next week.
From the time that we're talking
about,
that's in a week. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm pumped, man. Yeah, I'm gonna just put it on loop. Just loop it.
Why not? Why not?
And then I hope that like we could get some of those the bobbleheads, the pop
Oh snap!
Yeah,
there needs to be more merchandising for Top Gun Maverick. We need like all the guys. We need all of you guys. Like
I need Coyote sleep sleep because of the G-Lock. I need one of them just like that. Just
I need a bobblehead of Fanboy, and I'll just put him behind the sofa.
Yeah.
He's a backseater.
Or honestly, no, with pom-poms.
So here's a question that I have. Danny, did you guys have to do any kind of like boot camp or anything like that for this movie? Was it that kind of a thing?
Yeah, it was a separately scheduled event, and then every now and then we'd all get together for somewhat of a boot camp, which is swimming was a little bit of a boot camp. But other than that, flight times were choreographed depending on schedule, but it was like 3 times a week for the entire production.
Wow.
So we had a lot of flight hours, enough to be able to get our pilot's license, but then obviously we have to get these specific lessons in order to even be allowed to fly. Well, thank God they were like, hey, by the way, here it is. But I'd say it's a very unique boot camp that Tom knew exactly what was required. And it was more about G-force tolerance and getting the Navy to clear us to be on the jets.
That's cool, man. Tarzan, I want to ask you, man, we'd heard the story about where Miles had talked about like the jet fuel, like the jet fuel in his blood or whatever. Is that something that you guys all dealt with, or was that like unique to him? Or
that was unique to him, but we all had our own, like, I won't say problems, but we all had our own things that we dealt with, like people puking, people, I when I finished my scene that I shot, which I had to do about 15 times, a particular maneuver, I was going through it. I was shivering and my blood was displaced, and I had to go lay down after, like, while we had debriefings after every session. I couldn't even sit in the briefing because I was just like out of it.
Well, like my theory on that moment, Coyote, was because you had to act it, but by acting it, you also did the thing that is happening, which is like you cut oxygen to you by not breathing because you pretended to not breathe while going under G, which creates the exact same shitstorm. So that was on you, dude. Anything to get the shot. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything to get. Listen,
it's a great.
When you're up there, you have to understand, when you're up there, and you only have like an hour and a half, 2 hours to get the shot. You don't have monitors. You don't have anybody telling you like, hey, great, moving on. You're like, okay, I have to continue doing it over and over. And all of us, we were like, yo, we're sick throwing up, but we're like, hey, we got to make sure we get this, because we're spending so much money just to start the engine up on these F-18s. And then the flight time is ridiculous. And you don't want to be the person after spending an hour and a half up there and you can't use any of the footage, and like there's a room full of actors, filmmakers, Navy, military people, and they're all watching what you did. So you're like, let me just give them as much as I can.
Yeah, and on that, just the last little thing to drop in there of like, because also there was personal pressure to perform and also the cost of it. But the most beautiful thing was like the first time that Tom actually went up and he shared the footage, because everything was so transparent. He was like, oh, okay, well, I messed that up. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And then he's like, he wanted to show us his mistakes every single time in order to take away the negative pressure to do something. But rather being like, there's going to be errors in this. Isn't that a perfect process? Wow. And then just like, and so everyone was also open about their errors in regards to like, there's one time that my mask was inside or out, and then it's knowing that, because the next time it's like, okay, because we've now understood that happens. So it was always a foundation to build on. And so again, I've kept saying this because the more football season comes around, the more I think about establishing a culture within an organization. And Tom really set an exceptional culture. And I think we're all so tight friends still, because I think the way that experience happened was organic, but also set in such a positive growth mindset. Is like, place that is, it was just, it's beautiful. I love it. I love the entire experience.
That's awesome. Well, it's an amazing movie, and it's clearly got a lot of fans around the world. Tarzan, Danny, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you taking time to chat today. Once again, Top Gun Maverick out on digital August 23rd, and then Blu-ray DVD November 1st. Did I say it right?
November 1st.
Yes, sir. Nailed it. Hey, you guys, thanks so much. Have a great day. Very excited to talk about Top Gun Maverick. Biggest movie of the year in just a couple of months. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, that was, I had a feeling it was going to be a big movie, but this is like mammoth. Yeah, it's fantastic.
You're right. And I was looking up the numbers, and it's already just in just a couple of months of release, it's already like the number 13 highest grossing movie of all time.
God, I'm shocked that there are 12 above it.
That is for a while. Just give it a couple of more weeks. It's going to keep going up.
Yeah, absolutely. The release of the home video now is about to happen. And that's going to, take it to another astronomical level.
I think you're right. And we should say that that's August. I have my notes here. August 23rd is the digital. And then later this year, it's going to be released on physical, Blu-ray, DVD, that good stuff. So people will be able to
and cassette and 8-track. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I was going to tell you, I was excited to get to tell you this. When I was a kid and would go to my aunt and uncle's house in Florida, my Uncle Sherman. He's a good old guy, and he was a real rough and rugged kind of fella. John Wayne kind of guy. And he loved Top Gun. And they had it on VHS, and man, I used to watch it with him all the time when I was a kid. And I'm so excited to get to share the new one with my kids now.
Yeah. How many times have you seen it so far?
Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah.
I've seen only twice so far. Yeah. I saw it both times in theaters. I headed out there to watch it, because I wanted to support it, because I really, really love it. But I really want to ask you about Danger Zone, the iconic song from the original, part of the new one. And I've read a little bit about some of the story behind it, how there were some other artists who had sort of come before or were going to record it, and then it came to you. And I was curious if between the period that you agreed to do Danger Zone, that you took it on, and when it came out and became a big hit, if you had any sort of hesitation or reservation, I'm not so sure about this.
Well, when I initially heard the song, I did have some reservations about it. Okay. And I sat with Tom, the co-writer, with Giorgio, and I added some chord substitutions and changes in the bridge, because to me it was the same thing over and over and over again. And so I wanted to just mix it up, make it a little more interesting. And so I messed with it, and then I really liked it. And it gave me an opportunity to use a voice that I hadn't used, that my own material had been softer. And the most rocking thing I'd done was Footloose. Sure. And that's when I started to really enjoy that part of what I was using. And then during the period of when I got a call from Giorgio, and then I went into his studio, I was deep into the Tina Turner Private Dancer album. And so I sort of imitated her in the where I was putting my voice and the enunciations of the things, danger zone, that kind of thing was very much her R&B interpretation of her version of rock and roll. So I just took that and took it another place, being a skinny white guy.
It's funny. One of the questions that I was wanting to ask you is, having grown up on your music and revisiting some of it ahead of this and listening through, I was curious, did you kind of grow up like listening to like a lot of jazz and stuff like that? Because it seems like there's a lot of that sort of elements in some of your older songs.
Yeah, that's where the yacht rock thing comes from.
Yeah.
I hadn't really grown up with jazz, but I had two big brothers and they were into a lot of different kinds of music. And so as a 7-year-old, I was already into Buddy Holly and, Elvis Presley and stuff like that because of my big brother. And then plus he was deep into Fats Domino and the Coasters and of course, Little Richard. And so those were all major influences on me, like Cradle Languages, and all became part of what I was doing. But as I got older, when I was in Loggins and Messina, we were more countrified. And then I started listening to more R&B of the modern, like what Stevie Wonder was doing and the chordal changes that he was making. And that took me into the smooth jazz era that Steve Gadd and Bob James and Eric Gale and David Sanborn, people like that were doing. And it was a whole different kind of approach to R&B, really. So that became an infusion. I started writing with those guys, and that became an infusion into what I was doing musically that created this whole sort of pseudo yacht rock thing that they refer to it as. Very difficult to really define what that is because there was so much, intermixing with styles.
You're absolutely right. I completely agree with you on that. There are artists on the yacht rock spectrum seems incredibly vast,
and blurred.
I want to switch back to Top Gun just for 1 second because I was having a conversation with a friend. We were talking about Top Gun, talking about Danger Zone, and my friend's sort of thesis, I guess you would say, is that a big part of what has kept Top Gun so sort of relevant in culture over this many decades is Danger Zone, and the fact that Danger Zone is everywhere and could be everywhere that Top Gun really couldn't be, radio, sporting events, all kinds of places. And so that sort of keeping it at the forefront of our focus, like we hear Danger Zone, we think Top Gun, that's part of what kind of led to maybe the resurgence of the popularity. I would like to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think you're right. And I think they owe me more money.
Wait, I just want to make sure everybody knows that wasn't me. I don't want to be the one having to foot
you
the
gave
bill.
Me the idea.
I'm going to go, you're going to bankrupt me, Kenny.
No, that's a good premise. Actually, the music does re-stimulate that feeling, but I mean, the use of, let's say Archer, and the use of Danger Zone in Archer.
Oh yeah,
does carry, the whole concept of you're in the danger zone and the way he used it, and in the end, because it was an action kind of premise in the cartoon.
Yeah.
I could see the connection. Yeah. I'm not sure if it directly sells Top Gun in any way, but what it does is it rekindles that memory.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with you. Kenny, thank you so much for taking time to chat today. I really appreciate it. August 23rd, digital release of Top Gun later this year, Blu-ray DVD. Also, your new memoir is out. I'm still all right. Not I'm still all right. Still all right.
Still all right.
That's
thank you.
Now people can pick that up. Hardback, ebook, audiobook, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.